Hey everyone, Tom Ziglar here. I'm the CEO of the Zig Ziglar Corporation, and I have Sandra Krug here. Sandra is one of our Ziglar certified coaches. I'm so excited you're here. Sandra, tell us a little bit about why you decided to become a Ziglar coach.
Mm. I chose to become a certified and licensed Ziglar coach because the whole Ziglar philosophy aligns so beautifully with my mission as a truth mindset strategist and my belief that success is not just about your achievements, but also about your significance and your legacy. And as a certified master Christian life coach, I believe in helping women live out their God given potential with integrity and faith and purpose. And Zig Ziglar's teaching on mindset and personal development and service resonate with me. And being trained through Ziglar coaching system helped equip me to bring transformation to others in both a biblically grounded, but also in a very practical way. I help Christian women renew their minds with truth from God's word so they can live with purpose and peace and power. And Ziegler's wisdom is deeply rooted in values that reflect biblical truth, the integrity, the service, the importance of mindset. And then personally, as a poor girl from Mississippi raised by my single mom, I was inspired when I was a kid by Zig's story, how he was also a poor kid from Mississippi, but he rose up to be a world renowned motivator and encourager. So his journey gave me hope and, that I could rise up, not just for me, but to help others and lift them up. So becoming a Ziglar coach gave me extra tools so that I could do that.
Coach Sandra, that's awesome. I love that story and that emphasis of we've got to be the difference maker and help people step into the person God created them to become. And in our coaching system, we really work on every area of life, the mental, the spiritual, the physical, the family, the personal, the financial, and the career. Is there one of the areas that we really emphasize in our coaching that you're drawn to, that you like working with your clients on?
I think that the very first thing that we do is go into mindset, right? The mental spoke. And you had talked about it with us before as the coaches that if we don't get that part right, then it's going to be really difficult to even work on any of the other parts. And so mindset is something that's huge for me and my coaching with my ladies. That's why I even call myself, a truth mindset strategist, because I really want to emphasize, we hear so much about, a negative mindset. Obviously, that's not good. We don't want to fix mindset, but we also hear the positive mindset or the growth mindset, which is great, but that's only a first step. If you don't have a mindset that's truly grounded in biblical principles, if you're just relying on the world and what they tell you the truth is, you're not going to be able to fulfill all the call that God has on your life. So that really is important to me to start right there.
That's fantastic, because sometimes our mind will lie to us because it's not coming from the truth. So we got to be grounded in the truth. Is there an ideal client that you like to work with that you could share that with everyone?
Yeah. So, my ideal clients are Christian women and they're just ready for growth. They're ready to move to the next level. Maybe they have had fears in their life that we all deal with, and I think Christian women even have that extra layer of like, I have to be the good Christian, so they want to grow spiritually and personally and professionally. You know, maybe she has that fear of disappointing others, the fear of making the wrong decision, the fear of not being enough, the fear of judgment, right? Christians, we're not supposed to judge each other, but we have that huge fear like, I'm not that, and I can't tell anyone that I'm having all these problems because then, I'm not supposed to have those problems. But then on the other side, they have this fear of stagnation and this fear of leaving a legacy of regret. They don't want, to do that. So she's someone who's just really ready to renew her mind, live in alignment with that truth that I'm talking about. She wants to live authentically and achieve those personal and professional successes while cultivating healthy relationships and making a lasting impact and growing in faith. Maybe she's a nurse or a coach or a business owner or what I call a hidden leader who's just finally ready to step into that calling. And she's done settling, you know, she knows there's more peace, more joy, more impact. And she wants a coach who's going to hold that space for her so she can grow, but guide her with biblical wisdom and also challenge her so that she can rise, you know, because like we said, she desires that success that's meaningful, not just what the world says, but what God honors. And, you know, maybe she's even a woman that other people are looking up to, but she still knows there's more. And she's tired of striving and getting stuck in cycles and burdened by the lies that hold her back. And that truth mindset and the strategies and stepping into the system that we have, that's going to help her get unstuck and go to focus and just soaring into that next level.
Coach Sandra, that's powerful because a lot of times, we hesitate. We have this instinct, we have this nudge, and it's a God nudge, but we just hold back and we think, well, what would somebody else say, or is this really for me? And so what you're really doing is you're using God's wisdom and truth to give people permission to really step into their potential and become the person that God created them to become. How would somebody reach you? What's the best way for somebody to reach out to you to set up a strategy session where you could just spend some time with them to discover what it is the next steps are?
Yeah, you know, I would say if you're looking for more clarity and more joy and more impact, then I just invite you to email me. It's Coach Sandra at lifecoachforladies.com. And we can set up just a complimentary time to get together 45 minutes to an hour and just really get curious and dive into where it is that you are, where you want to be, what that gap is, and how I can help you to overcome that gap.
That's awesome. So you heard that. Coach Sandra at lifecoachforladies.com. Is that it?
Yes, that's
I
it.
remembered it the first time. That means you've got to remember it too. Go there now, book that time. I'll give you the last word. Is there anything you want to say to everybody watching?
Yeah, just during our session, we will talk about where you are, where God is calling you to be, and we will start building that path to get forward. So when you leave the call, you'll leave with hope and you'll leave with some practical steps that you can start on right away.
All right. You heard it. Go get that session. We'll see you again next time. Thanks, everyone.